In this video, we'll talk about something that many students are interested in, that's seeing what your grade is. So, throughout the semester, keep in mind that I try to, as quickly as possible, get material graded and posted into the D2L gradebook. Some of the assessments you take, such as quizzes, many of the quizzes and tests are immediately graded. So it should be, you should be able to, as soon as you complete a quiz or a test, you should be able to most of the time get an immediate response of what your grade is. But other things like essays and homework assignments take me a little bit longer to grade. As soon as I have major assignments graded, I usually send a course announcement saying, hey, all of blank essays have been graded, so check out your grades. One thing to keep in mind when we look at the grade book, which we access through assessment, and we'll go down to grades. If you see a 0 for a grade or a blank for a grade, don't panic. I have many students before who sometimes see a blank or a 0 for a grade. If you have a blank, it means I have not graded your assignment yet. Now, many times, as I'm inputting grades for the class, for some reason the blank will turn to a 0 until I go in and put that student's grade in. If this happens, if you see a 0 for an assignment, keep in mind you should have an explanation in the feedback for why you have a 0. If you see a 0 for an assignment and there's no feedback at all for that assignment, that means that either, first of all, you didn't submit the assignment, or second of all, it hadn't been graded yet. So don't panic. In the words of Douglas Adams, if you see a 0, you should also have explanation of why that grade is a 0, what you did not do. And if you don't have any feedback, give it some time and check back later, or look for a news announcement that says, hey, all the assignments have been graded. And then if you still see a 0, then you should probably email me and let me know what's going on. But throughout the semester, the great thing about the grade book, your final grade should not come as a shock to you. Throughout the semester, you should be able to kind of keep tabs of where you're at in the class. The course policy sheet gives you a total number of points that are available. So many of these points won't show up until towards the latter half of the course. But we still do lots of stuff in the beginning half of the course. The grade is something that is designed that it gives you a little wiggle room. It gives you some learning experience. And what I mean by that is you can have a bad grade, or maybe even 2, depending on the assignment, but if it is a habit, that can be a problem. So I have some students who may have a homework assignment that for one reason or another they didn't get done. They don't get their 20 points. I'd say if this is a one-time thing, don't worry. If you have a course where there's 900 points, 20 points really is not that big of a deal if it's an isolated instance. But if this is the 4th or 5th homework assignment that you've not turned in, or if this is the 7th or 8th quiz that you failed, that's when you need to start getting more concerned with your grade. Keep in mind that you want to kind of keep on top of your grade and make sure as the calendar progresses and we come up on that last day to withdraw from courses, keep in mind what your grade is. See if you can pull it together or not before the last day to withdraw comes and goes. But if you are concerned about your grade, of course, feel free to email me. Keep in mind that if a class participates well on the discussion board, if a class really is a class that jives together, that the students are making the environment a learning environment, I will throw you whatever extra credit I can. But if I have a class that discussions are painful, discussions aren't happening, if I have a class that's just kind of a dud class, I'm not going to throw extra credit out there. And guess what? You have the power to make that class one of the extra credit classes, because just one person is enough to stimulate the rest of the class to really jump on board and communicate well, do well on the discussion board, things like that. So keep in mind, hey, if you are doing well in the class discussion and things like that, I will do what I can to show you that I appreciate it, and that comes in the form of sometimes news announcements, but other times it can be, hey, guess what? Here's some extra credit for doing this or doing that. So the grades should be throughout the semester. Keep in mind the course policy covers a grade dispute policy I have. So pay attention to that. Once I announce a grade, once you have the feedback for it, if you see something that doesn't make sense, if you see something you don't understand on why you got the grades you have, let me know, and we'll figure it out together. I'll be happy to kind of further explain why you have the grades you do. Or it may be a situation of where I've miscommunicated between the graded assignment and my grade book. That's happened. So please do make sure that the grade that you have on the feedback matches your grade book. And if it doesn't, let me know. If you have a grade you don't understand why it is what it is, let me know. I don't have a lot of students tell me this is a lot higher than I thought it should be. Most students say, you know, it's lower than I thought it would be. And I'll be happy to kind of explain, well, here's what needs work. All right, so thank you.